Whatever
Right.
comes out of your heart's the perfect prayer.
Okay. Um, I want to thank the universe, our source, our creator, our spirit, for the opportunity to have had the privilege of being with this group where we can all tap into the magic of our rivers, what I call our rivers of light, that we may share in this space with ease and empower each other on this journey of Orin. Thank you.
Cheers.
Yeah. Cheers.
Never gets old. All right. All right. Did you guys have any insights or concerns from our last class that you'd like to address? Did you get any insights? Did you try any new protocols?
I did.
All right. Go ahead, Lynn.
Um, I find myself a little small fridge. So I find that the fresh urine for the first like 2 weeks as it evolves,
Mm-hmm.
it smells really strong. And my family's been, specifically my boyfriend's like, it smells like piss in your room. I'm like, yeah, it
It is.
happens. Yeah, it's possible. It's a good chance. So, anyways, I found myself a little fridge, guys. And the fridge makes absolutely no noise. It doesn't keep me up. That was one of my concerns. It was a friend of mine who suggested that. So just putting it in there for like 2 weeks for it to actually age. And after 2 weeks, I find that it really doesn't smell. So then I could put it on the shelf safely. So that's been like a huge like shift in the smell and just having people come into my room and smile instead of being like, eh. Even myself like coming in and it really smells, I'm sure you guys have lived that. So yeah, that's a huge thing, just having like a little fridge. So I have a little fridge. I think I could put up to 1, 2, 3, like 12 liters. So I'll have that in rotation.
Are you
So I'm pretty
dating?
stoked.
Are you putting a date on them?
Yeah, date and I right if I'm ovulating or if I have my moon. Usually if I have my moon, I usually don't. It doesn't feel right. Every time I drink it, it just there's I don't know, super nutritive. There's something about it that's me away. But anyways, learning, seeing I'm sure it'll shift. But yeah, dating and writing what's going on.
Good. I had the
Yep.
same situation with my housemates because I was doing baths and foot soaks with the aged, and it was finding its way down the hallway, and the smell would find its way into their bedroom. I don't know how these things happen. It's like a ghost. It was a poltergeist. And so what they did was they gave me their ice chest. So I've got about about 3 gallons of aged urine in an ice chest, and you can't smell it.
Oh yeah, totally. That's a good idea. Because I even thought about buying, there's like these containers from a company called Husky,
Mm-hmm.
and they could get in and they're like dust free, wind free. You can leave them outside and they're really strong. So, but an ice chest, a lot cheaper. God, I could find that anywhere in a secondhand store.
Yeah, or a garage sale.
Yeah, those are rare here. But yeah.
Those are rather okay. Rosario.
Yeah, so I've got a question. So I can't remember when I got in touch with you, Brother Sage, but I think it was, well, maybe a month and a half ago. So about 3 weeks ago, I started aging Orin. Actually, have it here.
There's a bad boy right
And
there. Yeah.
first I had it, yeah, first I had it in a cup, and when I actually transfer it to the bottle, I just can see that there are like little crystals in the bottom. I don't know if
Yep.
one can see. How
They're beautiful.
is that normal?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I just wanted to ask because obviously this is the first and it's like shiny little crystals. So I'm curious. I want to know what they are and
Stem
that's
cells.
all.
Stem cells and white blood cells.
Wow. So
Now, stem cells. If you study stem cells, now the shivambu will generate trillions of stem cells when you collect it.
Right.
And then every time you loop it and recycle it, it produces even more stem cells. What's so amazing, if you study stem cells, they are non-differentiated cells that are used to create specific cells for where the body needs it.
Amazing.
So it's just like it's in the queue. It's getting ready to be given an assignment, right?
Right.
And then it jumps out of the plane. Okay, now I know what I'm doing. I'm going
Yeah.
to run. So yeah,
Fantastic.
that's what those are. Now people will see all kinds of things. Now over the last couple of years, people have seen red colors and dark colors and green colors and all this other stuff. And everybody has a take on whether it's just increased mineralization or it's from bad diet, whatever it is. But none of it's harmful.
Okay. Well, that's good to know. So that's out of the way. So the other thing, so from last week, I started doing looping, and I did it first time for a whole day, and
Yes.
that was a good experience. It really, I didn't feel like eating. I just had a smoothie of berries and some coconut water, I think, and it was amazing because I didn't feel. I don't know if others had the same experience. I didn't feel hungry, and also just tying up with dreams. And this was my first experience when I first had Orin. I had this amazing dream, and I was like, "Oh, that was nice." But now the day I did the looping, the whole day, the dream was even okay. I know everyone has their own experience, so it was
Did you have more vivid dreams?
it was almost like I was in a different place. I was in a different place, and I was doing things that you can't do on this plane, and so it was yeah.
You
That's
made it
that's
there, Ernie.
That's how I
Yes.
can say. And it was one of my questions I had, last week, and then Ernie touched on it. So when I did the looping this time, is honestly, is I think if I just say it to some people, they'll just think that something is not right with me. But to me, it did happen, and it was an amazing experience. So that's all I
Yes,
have.
it was absolutely right for you, and they're jealous because they haven't tapped into that interdimensionality that we have available to us.
And all I can say, I'm motivated, very motivated to carry on this journey. So
Well,
And
good.
Rosario, on that note, also with the vivid dreaming, if you want to increase, something that I found for me is if you sleep on the floor, or
mhm.
something that's going to keep your posture up. Now, it might take you a little bit for you to build up that that resistance again. So our skeleton is designed to hold up our body completely flat. When we sleep on soft beds, what we're doing is we are allowing our muscles to work all night and make up for the dips. So since your muscles are on all night trying to level you, you wake up sometimes more tired than how you went to sleep. So if you try to practice like taking naps on the floor, and just adjust, let the pain restructure everything until your skeleton retrains itself to hold up your posture, and then when you're completely flat, on your back, and you're on a fasted state, you don't have inflammation in the gut area. So then your diaphragm fully expands the way it's supposed to. So you're going to retrain your diaphragm to breathe the way it's supposed to, the way we're supposed to breathe. And then what that does is it brings more oxygen into the brain. And then you can really take off on those dreams, and you can like literally navigate and ask any questions you have. Anything that comes up, if it's something that's I call it dark, right? It's like all these emotional things that will show up, and it'll be like a mirror. It'll show you things of yourself, or these deities will show up, and you just ask, why are you here, and what are you here to show me? Like, don't fear it. Just say, what am I going to learn from you? I'm ready to learn. I'm here. And
Amazing.
so
Thank
yeah,
you so
just
much.
yeah, don't be afraid of it. They're there just to help.
Thank
So,
you.
yeah,
No, that's very encouraging. Yeah, thank you very much.
yeah, absolutely.
And you will ground
I
and feel connected to the earth. Go ahead.
I've actually had the same thing start to happen. I'm
Yay.
dreaming way more vivid, way more vivid. I mean, I've always been a dreamer, but some nights you work really late, you sleep like a rock, and you don't remember anything. But no, way different. and I'm doing the looping. Yeah, I'm taking it up a notch, I think.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, that's
Was,
it's true healing there.
was that you who had the face mask on?
Yeah, yeah,
Christina?
yeah. And I've been doing that for a while. I do it with the Evolved, and I really, I don't get too much time off of work here lately because we're in the busy season. But when I can, get that full day, man, I pour everything I can in the bathtub. I put it in the ears, the eyes, I put it everywhere, and it really just starts to decompress all of that held up. It's just beautiful.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Fiona, you want to check in and give us any update?
Yeah. So I went with doing the aged urine on my my head, on my crown, because I've been able to get rid of the migraines for the last month, with like looping and stuff. So I started with that, and within 24 hours my migraines had stopped. So I actually have my head wrapped up in aged right now. This is like going on. It's just the experience with the aged is a very different experience. It's more like my body goes, and it goes like deep. It's like this deep mama that comes in and just like, she soothes me, she opens me, she does these things, and I'm like, wow. And then there's like the fresh to me is like this young spunk. She's coming in, she's live, she's like, I'm young, I'm free, yay. So yeah, just going through this experience with the two is just phenomenal. Especially now with not having the migraine. So I'm looping more, I'm drinking more, I'm sustaining myself more because I'm not getting that head stuff going on. And so just another, so noticing the Evolved and the fresh, and because I'm looking at it every day and monitoring and watching and the changes, because it's ever changing. So I'm on day 77, and now I'm noticing that my fresh urine is it's got geometry in it that's more formed, more three-dimensional. So it looks like it has a spin on it. Stuff looks like pyramids, six-sided shapes. The geometry just blows me away, because I'm just like, how is that possible? I know, like energetic resonance, but to watch it, how fresh comes in all like, I'm trying, and it tries to build structures and does it in this incredible way. And now, as I've been bringing it back in and restructuring my blood, it's now presenting differently, and I'm feeling different. So there's like this, it's like a charge that just keeps going and going and going, and I'm just like so excited. I mean, it's just a geeky thing. It's what I love to do, and I've watched how my blood has changed. The red blood, my actual blood, when I look at that, and because I've looked at so much blood and so many people's blood, and we see so much like shit in there, because we look at Simplast, which is a holographic impression that the cells are signaling. So it appears as a part of the body. It could look like the brain, it could look like your leg if you've got implant. So we know the body's always under stress, dealing stuff. And I've never had my blood free of Simplasts. Never had my blood free of Simplasts. Has no Simplasts. So my body's not taking up all energy and resources to deal with past issues that have just been buried. And it's now recycling them in a sense, because the content of my bacteria has changed its form. It's more symbiotic now, instead of looking like a load of bacillus in there. So it's pretty phenomenal. So I'm blown away. And just to be free of those migraines that started, we're always starting at like 3 o'clock and would go through my evening. I'm feeling really good. I'm just feeling really good. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to ask Emily to check in here in just a minute, but the migraines are a detox symptom.
Yep.
And when the blood takes the toxins and reabsorbs them, and if they find their way up to the brain. You're going to get them migraines. What gets me is people who are doing urine therapy, but they're not willing to admit they're still taking those bad food choices, and they're coming across like, oh, I'm a good urine therapy practitioner, but I'm still getting headaches and constipation and back pain, blah blah. I said, come on, be honest. Why are you still eating the dairy and the meat and all the fried food and blah 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 blah? You've got to eventually make a commitment. What's it going to be? Are you going to go to full out wellness and make this your lifestyle, or is it going to be hit and miss like a Band-Aid? So whether you make it to raw vegan or make it to fruitarian is up to every one of us. But the cleaner you can get in your diet and your lifestyle, the better.
Yeah, and I totally noticed too, like the other day, Freddie, he cooks something in the kitchen. I don't know what the heck that was, but oh man, the freaking stench. I mean, usually I'm not too bad, and I'm pretty 80-20. Like, in other words, I might steam some broccoli at night when it gets cool up in the jungle in the mountain, but I don't eat the garbage. It was, I don't know. I got to work with this because I hate this. I don't know. It almost made me a bit irritated towards him. So, I mean, I'm being brutally honest here, but it was, but I don't feel that that's correct. I think, I need to be more sympathetic and patient and things like that. But, wow. Yeah, you completely change. I want more fruit than ever. I mean, I can go by one of the stands where there's pineapple and watermelon, and I literally feel like some kind of Dracula. It's just like, oh man, I've got to have that. It's just insane. But no, it's I used to puff.
Your taste buds are getting more refined.
Yeah, and I used to puff here and there on the weekend on my own time. I don't want that. I feel like more and more that after I finish with work, I really want private time. I want nature. I want just, it's such a game changer. I mean, total and complete. So I feel it on the food thing for sure.
Well, stay in there. The people I live with, the people I live with, they're really food addicts. They really make a big deal about their food. They're planning their meals like my mom did 3 days ahead. They're going to have lunch. They figured it out, dinner, where they're going to eat, what they're going to bring in. They have the routines, when they're going to eat, how much, the whole thing, right? And then every now and then, the husband turns to me and says, I think I'm going to make some juice today. I think I'm going to fast today. You living your lifestyle is going to demonstrate to other people whether you mention it or not.
Absolutely, brother Sage. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Emily, can we hear from you?
Yeah. I'm just happy there's another week with the class. But it's interesting just to see how our body's chemistry will change, and it's always adapting to whatever we're exposed to, whatever environment we put ourselves in there. So I think it's really interesting seeing Sofina's response and just hearing everyone. But I work at a juice bar right now, so sometimes I have like customers that come in with different health conditions, or just they're on like a liquid fast because they have like gastro issues, or they're seeing a doctor at the time. And like, it's not my business, so I don't really have too much. I can't like sit down and talk to the customers, but I try to, just give them maybe some advice whenever it calls to me. So, but it's interesting just to hear, people's, just their lifestyle, and, I try to help when I can and educate. And I think this is like a really important thing to learn. So we'll see where it takes me.
Yes. And one of the other things we're constantly learning is compassion and empathy for people. Because I don't know if you heard this before. We're all on the same journey, but everybody's in a different spot in the journey. Right? We're all trying to find our balance. We're all trying to get home. We're all trying to be at peace. But everybody's in a different place in the journey, and everybody has different things that they have to learn, and so on. So being able to be understanding, compassion helps people a lot more than teaching and preaching. So anybody else needs to add anything before we do some reading?
Yeah, there's something for myself in the last like week or so. It's like I just Sophina, when you said like a vampire with like fruit, I feel the same thing. And I'm like, oh my God, like I don't want a smoothie. I was like, oh, I'll have a smoothie because it's really like it's like -40 here. And I'm like, cold plunger. I walk outside barefoot, like, all the wild habits I'm into. But anyways, I'm like, oh, I'll have a smoothie, a warm smoothie kind of thing, right? Or a warm fruit, but it's like, it's not that. It's like the freshness. There's something that I'm looking for. Even a kale, I just grabbed a kale and I took a bite out of the kale. My body freaking jumped up a notch, like vibrationally. I was like, holy shit. Anyways, so, and I do feel a bit rickety because on the weekend I had some alcohol and a little bit more coffee than I usually do. My boyfriend celebrated his party and I kind of like jumped on the boat a little bit, but I feel the difference. And yeah, it's kind of neat, like going back a little bit into my steps, my old habits, I guess, and being like, oh my God, no, I don't want that. I want to follow that clean path or that, I guess, just more easeful. There's less weight there.
Less weight, there's less baggage, there's less
or less thought. I mean, I gotta cook like almost I cook 20 meals a day. I have 3 kids, like I have to, but I mean also, like you said, Brother Sage, just doing what I do and influence my kids, right? And other people too, right? So
Yep.
My kids might jump on the boat when they're like 20 and they're like, oh my God, my body hurts everywhere. And I'm like, well,
I tried to tell you.
Or I have an idea. I got something for you. Or you have something for yourself.
Yeah, everybody comes around in their own time. We got to be patient with people. Starting with the person in the mirror. Because we are so frustrated on this planet around the food trip, the food dogma, the food obsession, the food addictions, the food neurosis, the food everything. I remember all the times I took food because it was made with love from my mother, or it was blessed by the minister, or I was being promised sex, or whatever it was. If you just eat this, everything will be just fine. Want to bet?
And Brother Sage, just sometimes it's just because the food was there.
Oh, my mom was really good at that. We would go shopping, and my mom was from second generation depression from the 30s. So she would stock up every other day, stock up every cabinet, right? And when she went through the store, she would not skip a sample from any vendor. Oh, it's free. I'll try it. I'll try it. Hey, you want to try it? I go, no, I don't think so.
I just wanted to add something about what Lynn was saying. About, especially with the fruits. One of the things that sometimes we forget is that, our brain wants dopamine and it tries to get it, anyway, in any form it can. And I think the difference with fruits and vegetables is that the dopamine, it's a good one. Well, dopamine is dopamine anyway, but it doesn't bring the body down. So our brain is always going to crave for it because it's a feel good, all along. And sometimes when we crave for the things, if it is alcohol or fast food, it's got to do also with the I think it's the microbiotic, no, the biome of our digestive system. Because when they starve, they're like, I want this. You're not going to take this away from me. So it's the balance there. And the best thing, I mean, I munch sometimes on grapes the whole day, is always to have something. It's preparation. It goes back to preparation. So always having a bit like of fruits or cut up melon, watermelon, whatever. So so we can win the battle in a way. But it's always gonna be a question of choice. But the fruits, I know, I don't know if you guys know the Vitamix cup. Sometimes I make a big one of smoothies. It doesn't last because it's such a feel good, and you just go for more and more and more. So yeah, I think most of us are a bit on. And if you have children, and just very briefly with my kids. Obviously they're now young adults, but the thing is, it will come a time that they will start doing what you're doing, because they're subconscious and they can see the effects on you. So it's a good investment, I would say.
Yeah, definitely. Like my kids putting on their skin or in their nose, ears, that's fine. It's just drinking it, they're like, big question mark so far. And I can understand.
Yeah, well, show them different topicals, different approaches to getting it in their bloodstream.
Yeah, definitely. And it's like, oh, you're sick? Well, let's try a few drops. I did that with my daughter. I think I mentioned that to the group before. And so I'm kind of like waiting till my kids get sick, but so far they're really healthy. So I mean, praying for my kids to get sick. Like, come on. Like, anyways.
We want to test your antibodies. Let's see how you're doing.
Yeah. Well, my dad started, and that was a surprise. I spoke to them a couple of days ago because my mum ordered the mesh inhaler.
Yeah,
because,
nebulizer.
yeah, the nebulizer. So I'm talking to them, and I told them what to order and all that stuff. And my dad just said to me straight in the face, he said, I've already tried it. I've already started. And my mum looked at him like, what? Oh no, she said, oh, now I have to. She says, I have, so she had this like buzz and light to her. So she really wanted to be really clear. What can I do? So I told her 3 drops under your tongue. You get the nebulizer and we'll talk it through. But she was asking him, she asked him, like, she was just excited. Her eyes were all bright. And she was like, well, what did it taste like? She wanted to know all those components. And he was like, you know what? There's nothing to it. He said there wasn't really a taste. He says, just drunk it, and he was like gargling away. He said it was no, and I just love my dad for that, because he's such a rock, and especially for my mom. And I was like, oh, thank the heavens, that's the way in. So she's all excited now because he's started and she wants to do the same thing that he's doing. So yeah, I'll let you know next week how they've been getting on when I catch up with them. Oh, it was such a blessing. It really was.
It's things like this that warm my heart, knowing that this is what brings families together. There's got to be a jingle there, like the family that drinks pee together lives together, stays together. I don't know. We'll come up with something here. Are we on page? I'm going to double check because I got a lot of tabs for all the classes. So are we on page 103? Does that sound right?
And I apologize for not having my book. I got stuck at work today, so
we'll make up for you.
Yeah.
Where is it?
That's why you have all those screens. Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's too far.
Yeah,
I don't think we're on 103. I think that's too far.
Too far. All right. Did we get to the foot soaks?
we were at saturation dosing.
Yeah.
All right. Did we get past the saturation dosing?
That's
Did we
page
get,
60.
did we get to the
Pregnancy.
calendar?
We passed.
No.
Yeah, we got to the calendar. We talked about the calendar.
Yeah.
Okay. The storage?
I think so.
Okay. Let's go to page 65 and soak our feet. Now we're going to page 65. Now you see that? All right. That's a foot soak right there. This was from a video, instructional video I made. And what that has is approximately 3/4 of a gallon. Because you want to get enough just to cover your ankles, minimum. If you can get more than that, even better, because the major reflexology points are throughout the body, are in the feet, and the ankles are the reproductive organs and the pelvis area and so forth. So if you can get up to that, fine. If you got a gallon, even better. If you don't have that much, you're going to be massaging it up and down your leg, which you're going to do anyway. All right, page 65. Who wants to start us off with some reading?
I'd like to start because I have a group of kids here and they're all outside. So I might not be able to speak later.
Hit
Is that
it.
okay? All right.
Hit it.
Itchy. Okay. Hold on. I'm just going to do this. Okay. Foot and hand soaks support the overall health of the body. These are useful for any irritation, fungus, or infection of the feet, diseases, cuts, stings, bites, or eczema. Foot soaks are good for nourishing all bodily functions from endocrine, digestion, absorption, nervous system, lymph glands, and elimination. Place enough, or in 2 to 4 quarts will do, in a 2-gallon Tupperware. Type soft plastic square tub to cover both feet up to the ankles. Get barefoot. Wear loose clothing, pants, shorts, rolled up yoga pants, pajama bottoms, or a swimsuit. Why not, right? Clothing is optional when doing a foot soak while getting on the edge of your bathtub or on a seat in a tub. You'll be soaking for 30 minutes. Take advantage of this time by doing something relaxing or healing for you. Turn on music, sing, meditate, chant, draw, or read a book. Or sew. I sew usually. Use this soaking time to apply reflexology to the points of the bottom of the feet and or hands to activate and open energy pathways for healing in every point. It doesn't matter whether you studied reflexology or not. Love and intention makes the Oran magic work. The pores at the bottom of the feet have the widest openings, pores, in the entire surface of the skin. This offers maximum absorption of the skin into the bloodstream. Origin foot soak demonstration. Reflexology, a healing modality that is often combined with the application of essential oils, teaches the use of touch with certain pressure on the feet and hands to simulate and clear the flow of energy connected to each point. By applying Oran to the soles of the palms of the hands or feet, which have the widest opening of the pores in the body, the perfect medicine is instantly absorbed through the skin and transported through the bloodstream and cells.
Have you guys
Remember,
have you done foot soaks yet? Yeah, so you know what this feels like and how to go through it. You're doing this right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm doing.
Right now, Fiona, she's
Oh, what?
multitasking.
I didn't see that.
She's
Nice.
multitasking. It's great.
Love it.
All right, Lynn, go ahead.
remember to suggest the foot soak method and remember to suggest the foot soak method to those hesitating to make their first sips or drink of pee. While the feet are soaking in the golden plasma water, use this opportunity to rub or dab Oregon on the calves, shins, knees, or as far up the legs as possible. This same protocol is used for doing hand soaks, except with smaller size containers. Have fun during foot and hand soaking time. You're worth it. Excellent for treating fungus, infections, arthritis, all skin problems on the feet and hands, as well as other health conditions throughout the whole day.
So what's going on here? Let me redo this place, Matt, right here. You're multitasking while you're you're sitting on the edge of the toilet or you're sitting on the edge of a bathtub, and your feet are inside the Oran inside the tub. So while you're in there, you can massage your calves, your shins, your kneecap. Depending on how much flesh is exposed, you can, get carried away. The other thing you can do is put your hands down at the bottom of the tub with your feet, if you're able to bend over enough, and you can do your hands and your feet, soak them both at the same time. It may feel a little awkward, but it can be done. Okay, if you're in the bathtub, you don't have to have anything on. Some people have those seats like they use for handicapped people that goes in the bathtub. And if you can do that, then you can massage your whole body. But while you're in there, some people are going, 30 minutes seems like a long time. Then you need to have 30 minutes because you need to learn to be patient. You want to get the maximum amount of nutrients inside your bloodstream. Any questions about foot soaks? Now, when we get to the suggestions, you'll notice that that's something I would suggest a lot, probably because I've been doing reflexology for 40 years. But I'm always telling people you need to get your whole body filled with the nutrients, not just drink it. Because there's different pathways, there's different directions it gets into the body. Like when we get into the injection part, you realize it goes right into the bloodstream without having to go through saliva and digestion, assimilation, and it goes direct. It's a direct route. So try every single protocol you can, especially the foot soak and the enemas and the things that really are impacting people the most. Any questions? No. Okay. Our buddy, the enema. You guys know what an enema kit looks like, right?
Yep.
All right. Safina, you feel like reading?
Sure.
On number 4, page 67.
All right. Enemas, douches, and implants. Any well-trained nutritionist, naturopath, or wellness practitioner knows that to restore your body to wholeness and balance, getting started on a series or colonics or enemas should be done ASAP. For a chronic illness or for occasional intestinal or body cleansing, Oran enemas are a lifesaver. Administering an Oran enema is a good way to remove poisonous substances from the body. Taking Oran douches for vaginal discomfort, pain, or health conditions works wonders as the Oran saturates the area, gets absorbed to the bloodstream, and brings relief. The nutrients contain antibacterial, anti-candida, antifungal, and anti-cancer properties. Oran enemas are a good way to prevent destruction of hormones by gastric juices built up of toxic material and obstruction or congestion, which is why this method often helps to cure allergic disorders better. This is also true for Oran injections. Furthermore, a number of compounds in Oran are better absorbed this way than by oral ingestion. Many people will prepare a filled plastic or glass gallon container with full strength or diluted Oran before starting a series of enemas. This will give you enough Oran to give yourself 3 to 4 rounds of enemas. Remove rugs from bathroom, lay a beach towel, size towel on the bathroom floor, hang filled enema bag on a drawer handle, towel rack, or toilet paper fixture. Be sure you have locked the clamp on the lower end of the tube before you hang up the bag to prevent spills. Test the temperature of the Oran before pouring it into the enema bag to determine if adding hot water would be more comfortable without the initial mild shock of inserting tube with cold Oran up the bum.
You may also want to remember to lock the bathroom door while you're doing an enema. So someone will walk in and you're going to feel embarrassed.
I want to hear that story.
What are you doing in there, Ernie? Oh, just, yoga.
Just putting urine up the old bum.
Yeah,
I got a story to share on some.
Hold on a second.
Oh, he's going to go check. While he's gone, I had an experience with that. I actually did a enema with 6-month-old or evolved urine, and I was set up in a very comfortable place where I just went to sleep, and the dreams were just amazing. Like the DMT levels in the body raised so high. Like I saw some things. It was amazing. But I built up to it. I just, I kept doing it on almost on a weekly basis with fresh. And I worked my way up to it because the evolved and the aged has more ammonia, so it'll clean quicker. And with that, just remember that is also going to be absorbed back into the blood. So then you'll feel like you're gasping for air. There's not enough oxygen in the blood because you're calm and you're laid down, and so you're not breathing as you should to bring in more oxygen. So it feels like it almost feels like you're poisoning yourself. Like if you're just sitting in a room with a lot of smoke and you just can't breathe. So you start feeling that. So once you start doing, the stuff with the aged that long, just take it easy, work yourself up to it. Just let the medicine call you. The medicine's going to tell you everything. Like you just have to be present and be here in the moment and really listen. Stay out of our thoughts when we can, and just be present. Just listen to your breath and listen to the pattern of your breath. The pattern of your breath tells you exactly where your body's at, what it's doing, what it's experiencing. This life is about feeling, right? It's thought first and then feeling whatever we feel according to that thought that we saw, we'd make that our truth because it made us feel something. And that could be many different types of feeling. And that's where the food addiction is. So, but I'm super blessed for this medicine. Like, man, I'm just so excited where I'm at, and every day just gets better and better and better, and it'll excite you, and you just want to keep going. And you don't have to worry about telling anybody. You just got to do you. They'll see it. They'll come to you.
Yep.
Yeah, because we've had a few people who have come back to the Institute, and several of them have said, wow, you look younger. I'm like, well, oh, that's interesting. Oh, I don't know.
Nice.
Fantastic.
Yeah, daily.
So the enemas, I can never say enough good things about enemas, because if you ever go to a naturopath and he knows what he's talking about, if you go to a health food store, some of them are keen on it, but most of the good natural therapies and natural modalities always put this at the top of their list, because they know one of the major causes of illness is things in your intestines. Yes. And what it's doing in the bloodstream, and how it's creating inflammation and pressing against the organs in the front and the back. And a lot of the misdiagnosis that takes place by doctors is because it's really constipation, but they misdiagnose it because they're specialists in their field.
Yeah, and a lot of that constipation comes from the diet too. When you start mixing, different ingredients that don't go together, you're doing lab work in the kitchen, and you're putting that in your body. Everybody's different, so it's going to respond different. But you create a bomb in your stomach with all these acids that shouldn't be mixing together. You have your carbonic acid and lactic acid and uric acid, and then whatever else the body's doing, it also produces that stuff. So then you mix that with starch and meat and bread or one of these things, and then it becomes glue, and then that goes to the gut, and then it just gets stuck in the colon because we're not drinking enough water, so we're dehydrated already to begin with. So it never gets processed, and then the glue just kind of sticks and it starts building up walls. So just think of how long you've had that in there, and every day those toxins continue to feed the blood. So you'll never have clean blood. You'll never have alkaline blood, because you're just feeding poison to the blood every single day because of the stuff that's just stuck there. So enemas will clear all that out.
If you check the chat, I just posted some things for you to look up. If you can look up a food combining chart or type in chemistry and composition of foods, you'll get an understanding of what causes bloating and gas and indigestion. Because unless people are taught that not everything goes together, like fats and starches and proteins and sugars, one of the worst things on the planet, which is a recipe for disaster, is called a sandwich. And people throw everything they like in a sandwich, everything they like in a salad, and then they wonder why they're getting an upset stomach. And they think they're all eating all raw foods or vegan foods or vegetarian foods, but it's the mass amount and the wrong combining that's causing problems.
Yeah. And you have a whole load of then what you're creating with that food style is that the microbiome, it's totally anaerobic at that point. It's totally acidic, and it's giving off all kinds of gases. It's perforating your bowels. It's causing appendicitis, diverticular, all that buildup and all that putridness because they're just surviving in their environment. They're like, woohoo, thriving away. Yeah. So then you drink like the urine, you're putting that pH change in. I think that's like just so powerful.
Yes.
Like for me with my whole gastric stuff, within 2 days I was done, because there was foods I couldn't even eat. I couldn't drink freaking fresh orange juice. I couldn't drink watermelon juice anymore. Couldn't drink fresh apple juice. I was pissed. And then I couldn't absorb anything from my foods. So once that went in, bam, them anaerobic stuff, they were dealt with right away. It's like they don't like that pH. They don't like that change in their environment, and they're out of there. And then you have all the aerobes like, yoo-hoo, and they're like munching them down, baby, and pooping them out. And then you're getting vibes from all that. And it's like,
Yeah,
That
it's the same. It's the same
takes.
with the parasites. If people stop feeding their critters, then they'll get rid of candida.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot of problems people have. They don't realize that there's more going on than you see.
Yeah, and then knowing what to feed, because to get that level, that pH level, to make more oxygen available in your body, even like saying in our posture, how we sit, our breathing, everything, because those microbes that we need, they're not just only in our foods, in the waters, that we take in, they're in the waters that we bathe in, they're in the air that we breathe in. Our environment. That's why it's so important to be out in nature, and ground ourselves down and take in our environment in this way, and the sunlight on our skin and feeling the winds blow and enjoying it.
I'm gonna go for a run after this.
Fiona, that was me yesterday. I had to get out of the grid, so I found myself in an open field where I can smell the air and see the mountains and be barefoot on the dirt. And I was telling my followers, I did a live stream out there. I'm going, this is nature. This is your nature. This is the real nature. You can't feel like yourself when you're surrounded by all those forces and EMFs and 5G and chemtrails and blah, blah. I had to just like get away from the house. And plus, you get stuck in your rut and your routine. And, and more people are going, I feel stuck. I feel paralyzed. Well, get out of your house.
Yeah. Get out
Exactly.
and walk, breathe.
While we're all at home looking at a screen. This is good.
Yeah, but this is for school. It's important.
Yeah, this is high vibes.
We're not going to have school out in the field. All right.
That's right.
All right. Sophina, where are we?
Adding extra hot water, tap water is fine, to the enema bag helps the gut and body to relax. You will feel more comfortable during the process. A single massage oil like sesame. Avoid oil blends that contain volatile oils like cinnamon or peppermint that will sting in a very sensitive area. Is poured on the tip of the enema tube to lubricate it for easier insertion. When finished with enema, be sure to allow time for deep cleaning of all surfaces of the toilet floor, bathroom sink area, as well as the enema bag and attachments. Put aside time after an enema to relax, rest, and recharge your energy. Next step, after filling the lower intestine with Oran while sitting on the toilet, hold in the Oran in the colon for as long as possible before letting it go. Optional. After the material is discharged, apply fresh or evolving Oran on the skin of the entire body. Optional. Get into a tub filled with hot water, as hot as you can stand. Stay in it for up to 20 minutes. After that, go to the bed and cover with a few blankets if needed to sweat out a fever.
So hold on
Take
a second.
an Oran douche.
Hold on a second. So for people who think this is easy, doing an enema is easy and they can just get in, get out, you got to look at a good 45-minute commitment here, because by the time you set up the floor and you take out the bag and you fill it up, you mix the Oran, you get the oil, you oil up the tube, you insert it, you get on the floor, you insert it, you stand up, you take care of it, and you go up and down, you're doing your enema yoga, right? And when it's over, it ain't over yet, because you got to clean up the equipment, you got to wipe up the floor, you got to clean out the toilet and the sink, and so you better invest a good 45 minutes here.
At least.
Yeah, unless you have someone doing that for you, then you can just walk out. But I have to do it myself. All right, Sophina, keep going.
Taking Oran douches for vaginal discomfort, pain, or health condition works wonders, as the Oran saturates the area while purifying the vagina of pathogens and toxins as it is getting absorbed into the bloodstream to bring relief. Douche with fresh or evolving Oran. Nutrients, as well as the antibacterial, anti-candida, antifungal, and anti-cancer properties in Oran, are the quickest, safest, and most effective way to eliminate pathogens, parasites, yeast, candida, fungus, tumors, discharge, and unhealthy bacteria. Try inserting 3 to 6 ounces of Oran in the colon and hold it in as long as possible. This is called a rectal implant. These 3 to 6 ounce silicone or soft rubber bulbs are sold at pharmacies, health food stores, or online. It can be taken anytime. This is a quick way to introduce Oran into the colon without the lengthy process of setup, use, and cleanup from an enema. A cleanse is even better with a rectal implant is done after bowel movement.
Now, not doctor, but you guys know who Darlene Tehan is? She's a urine therapist out there in Canada, and she recommends a lot doing this kind of thing. She calls it she gets a syringe and have people put in 20 milliliters of Oran in the rectum, or you can get the bulbs. I've seen them in the kids section at the store, and she suggests they just put it in as they go to bed. So it's working its magic while you're sleeping. You're not doing the whole enema bags worth, so it's not going to be causing you to have peristalsis.
Yeah.
So
it's a beautiful thing.
You might want to practice that during the day before you try it right before bed.
Can I add something there?
Please.
I find that sometimes for myself, it's doing it at night. Often I find that I have to kind of like wait. I have this feeling like, oh my God, like I need to go to the bathroom because it's like the end of the day. I've eaten and like drinking urine or whatever. And it's like, oh my God, like I have to go. And often if I just wait 20 minutes, like I feel like my body adjusts and then it can hold it. You know, I think there's just like this little, I don't know if somebody's been through this before, but I find that just waiting and just kind of like really like maybe engaging my muscles, my pelvic muscles a little bit more. I've been doing that too. And that's been really helpful to hold it in. Obviously, if I gotta go, I gotta go. But I find that there's like this point where it's like, oh, if I just push a little bit more, like it eventually holds it in all night. And I sleep like a baby.
Okay.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's just a little, you know, if we're going to be teaching people this, I think it's great to have different perspectives from everyone.
Are you coordinating with the PC muscle exercises?
Yeah.
Okay. Fiona?
Trying that.
Yeah.
You're next. Fiona.
Right. It's not really about enemas. It's more about douching, because I mean, I do enemas, have all the funny stuff, but I do vaginal douching. I don't know if any of the ladies here do that. Tried that. I've evolved from doing the fresh to the aged right now. And I do before going to bed too. You know, there's ways to like, so it doesn't run out. You can put a sanitary towel. You can use a Diva cup, which would collect it, and you know, inside as well. And I've found that that's just something I just love it. It's so powerful, especially using the age now of just how it what it does to my body and that lower like chakra, just how everything explodes and opens up. I just find it so soothing, so powerful that that's what I do. So I just want
Fiona,
Sorry.
Fiona, when you do the evolved, I haven't tried the evolve that way yet because I was curious that maybe, you know how when you do it through the nose, it burns a little bit. Do you get a first sensation of a burn and then it goes away, or there's no sensation?
So I build up. So I started with the 3-day-old, 2-week-old.
Okay.
Maximum probably of 15 mils in one go, and just see how like you say, it's all intuitive. So I'm building up and making my way to. I actually did 3-week last night, so I'm at 3-week, and then I'll just move through that. But I did in the very beginning a slight burn, but not now. I'm not having that as a main sensation. I'm feeling like the body takes it in really quickly. And my guts start going and popping and all this like physical stuff goes on that's really unusual. And you actually I feel like my heart, that area opens and my breath expands, and I feel like I'm taking really deep breaths. So I just find it really powerful. And and keep it in as long as possible, go to bed with it, and you get vivid dreams again. Woohoo, dream well, bam.
And Fiona, this you're talking about vaginal douches, right?
Yes. Yeah. Undiluted, just the purity of it.
Yeah, because I've been building up to doing some, because I released a pregnancy soon, and through feeling it out, I feel like I need to wait a little bit until things have settled a little bit more. So, and then this next coming week, I was going to do douches, and I was wondering about that because I haven't found any documentation on it yet.
Right. Yeah, maybe just start with your fresh, maybe midday. It's not as the pH. I don't know. Yeah, just experiment.
That's what I'm doing, the fresh. I'm starting with the fresh. I'm doing the fresh. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because they have their different pHs. Like we know that, so it's going to have that in that area. It's not used to that. There's going to be a reaction go on in there. But all good stuff.
It sounds like we need to have a Zoom call for ladies only.
Maybe another book, Brother Sage.
I don't know. The men need to know. God, you're going to have daughters and wives.
Yes.
True, very true.
Yeah, they need to know. Grandmothers.
They need to know. Well, first things first, I got a book at the publisher right now. I'm going to let that one get born first. All right. Any questions before we go on to the next section here?
I have a question in regards to enemas. I've done an enema a long time ago for the first time, and it wasn't a positive experience for me because I've got diverticulitis. And at the time I had tried Ormus. I don't know if you probably know about Ormus. So I tried a little bit, and oil is not my thing, and I think that didn't help. So, and then an enema afterwards, and I couldn't move for 3 hours. So what happened, it was like my stomach inflamed, everything was inflamed and very painful. And diverticulitis because I ate gluten and I didn't know I was intolerant to it for many, many years. I come from a country where gluten is the main thing. If you don't eat it, it's like, what's wrong with you? So I've never tried enema again. So I just wonder if anyone has any experience or know anyone who's got diverticulitis and what's their experience with having enemas. I don't know if mine was a one-off. I don't want to repeat the same thing, but I'm just curious. So if anyone knows anything.
Well, offhand, I would say that whether it's diverticulitis or colitis or any inflammation in any section of the intestines, you treat it the same way. Because, whatever is impacted on the inside lining of the intestines or what's crimping the line between one section or another has to be freed up, and the enema allows that to do that. See what I'm saying? Without having to focus in on the name of the condition, I would treat it equally and get to work with the enemas.
Yes, I understand what you're saying, and obviously circumstances have changed, so I don't have that same diet as I had, a couple of years ago, so
sure,
it might not be the same thing, so there you go. It's just once you have the condition and when you have a flare-up, you just so scared of having another one, and I haven't had one for maybe 2-3 years now, so
cross your fingers, but get on the enemas anyway, just to be sure, because it might be latent or it might be beneath your awareness. Just to make sure you got a healthy functioning intestines, I would get on it anyway.
Good, thank you.
Anybody else?
There's just something about that energetic release of past stuff that I find with that is that, because I've noticed it the last few days with myself, with the way the body processes and moves through those things, because it's had to adapt to a situation or something that's happened in our body. So it's had to adapt, around that. So that what I'm finding with the urine is that it seems like, and I don't know whether it's significant to the amount of days or the months, I've heard some things about people say 3 months, like the birthing stage, each trimester, 3, 6, those things. That on some level, that energetic release, because it's always out here in the fields first, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, the physical body's always take a little bit longer, for its release. So those cells that have been in our bodies for they say, oh, cells only last 30, 40 days. Well, some do, some don't, some can live forever. So if it's had to adapt, it's changed, it's functioned some way, it's twisted, maybe just say the cells just got a little bit of a glitch in it. when it comes to reproduce itself, it's going to reproduce with that glitch. So those glitches, we kind of have to release from our body, and our body will feel that physicalness again of how it presented previously. Like I'm being presented with the back injury I had in the beginning of 2020 that put me out for 6 months, because I'm like, what is going on? I'm like, I've done like so much work. Like, I'm healthy, I'm fit, but it's not. It's like this, as I feel into it, it's a subtle field that's informing me that, no, I'm not. I'm kind of going. I'm kind of releasing. I'm realigning. It's like even my scar line, my cesarean line, it's not crooked, because it used to be crooked, because my alignment was off, my hips, everything. And as I'm feeling into this, that cesarean line is straightening out. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So that subtleness on
Fiona,
my left side is leaving.
welcome. Welcome. Oh my gosh. Just I can listen to you forever. Oh my God. Like I see you. Welcome.
Yeah. Oh,
welcome.
You.
Keep going.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah, just to know that and be really gentle with ourselves, that it's not to go back into that pattern like, oh my God, it's happening to me. What's that? It's like, okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Yes, and let's trust the process, because our body has infinite intelligence. The chiropractors call it innate intelligence, which basically means it knows how to restore its perfect health regardless. And your mind is what gets in the way.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
And all the beliefs and all the programming and all the fear that's causing us to even doubt our own abilities has to be set aside so we can perform at our optimum.
Yeah.
The other thing I'm reminded is that people are healing everything every day, and the universe has not singled you guys out to be the one person who can't be healed. So there's no incurables. It's just a matter of working with your diet and your health and your exercise and your relationships. Are you guys getting hugs every day?
Some.
Good. We need human contact. If you ever get hug deficient, did I tell you how to get hugs and a lot of hugs at once? Go out on the street with a sign that says free hugs. And I guarantee you, within about an hour, you'll have about 20 hugs. And you go, okay, I'm full. I'll go home. All right. Any questions before we move forward? Do you want to take a break?
Yeah, that'd be good.
Okay. So I'm going to turn off the recording. Take about 3 to
up, and join it up, and it carries on growing. And it's just like, there's such an alchemy of so many things going on, because I'm like, who's doing what? And they're going, it doesn't matter. It's getting done.
Yeah.
Because that part of my mind wants to break everything down and figure it out and know, and then I'm just like, oh God, this is just glorious. I don't care. Just let me see and enjoy.
And it's all you. It's you.
It's amazing.
Yeah, I've only looked at my own piss. After donations, it's been hard. I asked one friend and she said she would give me some before she starts her journey on it. So that'll be interesting, because it's like I want a laboratory with lots of different piss, all different ages, from all different people. I just want to look, and just see the mat. I don't know, it's something about it to me. It's like dreaming, when you go into the realms, and you're invited in there, and that's the same for me when I'm going into a microscope and I've got someone's sample that I'm looking at. I'm being opened up into the architecture of their life, their world, so to me it's like, wow, I get to look, I can look deep here, go deep.
All right, everybody, send your samples to Fiona at 209 Carlsbad, California. That'd be a whole lot of fun.
Hey, I'm up for it. If anybody wants to send a little tiny vial, I take a look, get some shots, see what's going on over a few days, see how it fares.
Yes. Maybe you can put your address in the chat. I'll totally send some.
I'll put my PO box.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Just be careful when you post it on YouTube. You're gonna get pee from everyone.
Well,
No.
yeah, the chat feed does not go when you upload the video. It doesn't go with the video, which
Okay.
is a real plus. Let's go to page 71. We still got an hour of our class today, and there it is. She put it in there right then and there. Thank you very much. Anybody like to read who hasn't read?
I'll read.
Who just said that?
Emily.
Oh, please go ahead.
Okay. So with the ears, number 5.
Please, page 71.
Okay. Rinse the ears with Oran from either the palm of your hand or use a dropper to apply Oran drops in the ears. While head is tilted to the direction opposite the side of the filled ear, massage or pull along the inner edges of the ear to encourage the Oran to sink deeper into the ear. Got ear health challenges? Squeeze a dropper full of Oran into inner ear canal, which is the eustachian tube, with your head lying down on the opposite side. Hold Oran in ears for as long as you can. Try leaving it in the ear for 5 minutes. When ready, tilt head to opposite side and let it drain. Repeat protocol with the other ear. Use Oran ear rinses to treat hearing, tinnitus, or any ear infections. An alternative method to ear drops is to place an Oran-soaked cotton ball in the ears. Keep in the ear for 1 hour and then remove it. Tip head to the side of the ear and massage throughout the ear to either absorb or drain the remaining Oran.
All right, hold on a second. You guys do know there's a whole lot of reflexology points in the ears. So when you've got it going in the ear, if you got any extra around the outer edges, this is basically a little baby body that's curled. So massage and press on points all around the ear, so you're stimulating the ear reflexology points.
Thank you.
Emily?
Q-tips are useful not only in applying and dabbing Oran inside the ears, but they can also be used in other ways. Most people will easily sniff a finger dipped in pee as a beginner's method of drinking Oran through the nose, while others prefer the use of a Q-tip to swab Oran on the inside of both nostrils to clean out bacteria in the nasal passage as they lightly sniff the Oran. This is a personal choice. Q-tips, like cotton balls soaked in Oran, work well for a quick remedy for specific conditions. However, in any emergency situation, like a hornet or wasp sting, burn, or cut, you'll need to move quickly on an auto urine therapy treatment. Forget about rushing home or scrambling through the medicine cabinet or bathroom drawers for supplies. Either pee directly on any infected areas or pee in the palm of a hand to transfer to anywhere on the body.
And this works like a charm, and it works real fast. When I was painting murals on property, on the back property of where I live, I wasn't paying attention, and underneath the roof, under the awning of the roof, here's all these wasps or hornets flying in and out. Well, I got stung a couple times, and I'm going, all right, here's a chance to test this out. So, I put some pee on it, and in a matter of 10 minutes, the intensity of the sting went away. And in a matter of 20 minutes, the part that started to turn purple started returning to the normal skin color. So this can go pretty fast. All right, any questions so far? We're about to go into fasting. All right, I'll read. Here we go. Are we in the eye rinse? Are we in the eye rinse?
6, yeah.
Okay, obtain an eye cup. You guys all know what that looks like?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about a half an ounce. It's either hard plastic or it's glass, depends on who you get it from. from a local health food store, drugstore, whatever, online. Fill up an eye cup with fresh Oran to avoid a sting from the astringent quality of evolving Oran. Press and hold firmly against one eye. Blink several times while the cup of Oran is still secure. Pour excess Oran remaining in the cup directly over the eye and surrounding area. Now, this was a suggestion from Dr. Rosalind Hansen. She says that, for example, this is an Oran cup. You just got to use your imagination. Well, after you've already had it over your eye, when you're done, just take the cup and pour it over the cornea. Just tilt your head and just let it wash right over the eye. Okay? And some people, when they're done with one eye, there's still plenty in there. They just use it for the other eye and then do the wash over the cornea. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right. Then switch eye cup and repeat protocol with the other eye. The eye rinse protocol supports eye health, bringing relief to tired, burning, or painful eyes. Use Oran eye rinses to treat all irritation. I think I might have got the wrong word there. Use Oran eye rinses to treat all irritation, cataracts, poor vision, swimmer's eyes, sore or tired eyes, or any eye infection. That would also include floaters and night vision issues. To treat any type of eye problems, do the following. Drink fresh Oran into both nostrils from time awakening until 6 p.m. After 6 p.m., collect all Oran until bedtime. The Oran shall be collected for external uses. Give yourself an Oran body massage from someone or from yourself in the next few days. It shall prevent and treat many other diseases such as coronavirus. And that was from Dr. Rajshak Malod out in India. This was he wrote that part up. Make certain that the eyedropper you use for eye rinses is sterilized. A compress of fresh Oran is also excellent for external eye inflammation such as styles. I think that was styes. Now here's the irony of it. You want to sterilize your eye cup to put in urine. Put in the urine. That'll sterilize your eye cup.
Yeah.
All right, number 70, page
Brother
70.
Sage,
Yes,
can you use the Evolve in your eye? Because I notice it says fresh Oran to avoid the sting, but
yeah.
we
The
can
sting,
do that,
a lot
right?
of people who use evolving Oran in the eyes want the sting. They want that astringent discomfort just really quickly because they feel it's working better.
Okay, because
So-
I've been doing it for a while and I'm not blind yet, so I think I'm good.
Yeah, so I'll get you in a minute, Ernie. So you can either keep going the way you're going, or you could use fresh to dilute it.
Okay.
Mix evolving with fresh. Ernie?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Same thing. I was going to just add the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah,
Excellent.
and I was just going to say I have a dropper bottle, and I just because I'm using it over the day, so it starts off as fresh and it just evolves, and I'm not changing that. I'm just using the same thing.
Yeah, and if you've seen some of my cups, I don't know if you've seen some of my ball jars. After a while, I've gone as many as 3 to 6 months without cleaning them.
Mhm.
And whatever that little film on the inside is that's cakes on the inside of the jar, I just dip in my fingers and I wipe it off and lick it. I'm going, wow, this stuff is getting stronger. Because we're operating from a different context than the average person. The average person goes, don't you need to wash that thoroughly to sterilize it? I'm going, from what? So it's all a
It's
mindset.
already sterile. Yeah.
It comes pre-sterile.
Yeah.
All right, number 7 is we're going.
What a beautiful journey.
It's a beautiful journey. You ain't seen nothing yet.
I want to see it all.
You will. Take it one drop at a time.
Yes. Yes.
All the midstream people out there, I'm still having fun with those guys. How does one go on an Oran fast? Fasting is a conscious vacation from food. It's a yoga of mindfulness with attention on the body and mind during a cleansing and rebuilding time, and not on eating. Collect and drink up to 100% of your Oran shortly after peeing. Drink only Oran, or a combination with distilled water, for the entire day. Drink enough Oran to satiate your thirst. To overcome hunger sensations throughout the day, drink 2 to 3 ounces. Now that's a minimum suggestion. 2 to 3 ounces, wow, that's nothing. Notice that the hunger leaves. The advanced fasting practice is to drink a little Oran as possible for the day. That puts you on the edge of a dry fast. It's extremely powerful and effective. Avoid drinking Oran or any fluids a couple of hours before bedtime. Otherwise, your sleep might be disrupted by trips to go pee. 2 hours before bedtime, take a break from drinking Oran. Collect and save your Oran in a large size glass container, like a 1 or 2 quart ball or mason jar. They do have 2 quart sizes. Use this Oran for all cosmetic, which we call topical uses, or oral applications for over the next few days or the next few weeks or longer to allow it to continue evolving. I mean, you're going to get to the point where you're not going to be buying skin products, shampoo, conditioner, insect repellent, sunscreen, underarm deodorant, foot fungus. I mean, all that stuff, you use your money for something else. Isn't that great? And when you finally realize that you have 3,000 compounds that make up the perfect medicine, that is your health food store. I have my health food store right here. That'll save a lot of money on supplements. Of course, there's a lot of people in the Water family going, but I spent all that money and I bought those supplements. I don't want them to go to waste. You're going, huh? Why keep at it? I mean, eventually you got to come to that understanding, that realization. Patience, yeah, that means you, is required when drinking all the Oran that you are peeing during the day. Since you drink your pee and have read this far in the manual, you earned a Piquant Flyer Award. Now, if you feel like your piquancy is at an all-time vibration, Oran becomes clearer, neutral in its smell, and sweeter on the day you fast. Anybody notice that? Yeah, kind of like a lovely coconut water.
Yes. Yeah. Can I just say, so when I did the looping, the day that I tried it the first time, there
Yes.
was a point where I think it was the third batch. When I had it, it tasted almost like water, and I was like, I'm sure I didn't put water in this cup. I'm sure this is Orin. But the funny thing, it was, even though I didn't need to drink anything else after 2 hours, when I had the one after, it had actually a taste. So I was curious about that, because I was going to ask you how come one was almost tasteless, clear, and then the second one, even though I didn't need to drink anything apart from Orin, it was a little bit darker, and it had a taste. So, because I thought, oh, that's it, my Orin just tastes like water now.
All you have to do is go back 24 hours to what you ate.
Yeah.
Or what you drank. Or if you went through an emotional roller coaster.
And that is something else. Well, anyway, I'll leave my question for another time. Yeah, it makes sense. Thank you.
And if you're not already using a pH strip, if you want to know what your pH is, go pick up some pH papers.
Okay, I'll do that.
And then with what I found out when I drink I try to stay looping most of my day. So it gets to a point where there's absolutely like no flavor whatsoever. And as I continue to loop it, it starts getting a little thicker, a lot smoother. But if I leave it out on a cup for a little bit like this, see this was like I'm looping now. So it'll get to the point where you leave it out for a little bit and it starts evolving like really fast. So odor comes, and then the color changes, and then it'll taste different, even though it was from the same batch like 2-3 hours ago. So this is probably about 3-4 hours. So so it starts moving, and the more you loop it, the stronger it gets, but you feel what it's doing in the body. And then if you start applying prayer to it and you say thank you for what you already did, right? Not what you're going to do, what you already did, and you feel it and you truly, truly feel it. Because the thought is one thing, right? But when you apply the feeling to it, it sends that information out. And they're like, oh, okay, well, we're already being thanked for repairing my eyes and restoring my hair. And thank you for my beautiful hair and, my great vision and all that. Like, they're just going to respond to that because that's what you keep saying. So, but yeah, I don't know if that answered your question on the taste.
It does, absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
Thank you.
yeah, so always keep it in this, otherwise they're going to be like, it smells in here.
Yeah.
And Ramona, since you're since you're in this group, you're not going to feel like someone's going to judge you for talking to your pee.
Oh,
I'm going to walk in the office and there's going to be Ernie talking to his pee.
I agree. I do that to water already, so thank you. And, you know, all sorts of things. So it's the same thing. I need to look at it, you know, the same way.
You're going to find yourself in a, oh, that's touching me. You're going to find yourself in this place of gratitude a lot, particularly when the things that used to challenge you health-wise don't show up anymore.
Absolutely. It's the heart, you know, it's gonna open up.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes, and that's also gonna spill off, no pun intended, to
Thank
everybody
you.
who comes into your orbit or into your field.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you.
Changing the world one pee at a time.
One pee at a time.
I like that.
We're rocking in a pee world. Very good. All right, notice that the hunger's left. The advanced fasting practice puts you on the edge of a dry fast. Avoid drinking Oran or any fluids a couple of hours before bedtime. I already said this part right here. All right, patience, I read that part. Oran becomes clear, read that part. Oran fasts have no limits on what health conditions it can improve. Oran fasting works quicker when combined with other natural adjuvant therapies. Oran fasts help with dust, house dust mites, mold allergies, chemical allergies, with or without Oran injections. However, Oran injections, while fasting, are a more rapid treatment. Oran fast, now don't just set that aside, because Oran injections, more and more people are using it. Whether they needed stem cells in their knees, or they had back pain, or they had an allergic reaction. Some people, like Matt out in New York, they're just trying it out so they know what it's like to get it in the bloodstream without going through the regular forms of digestion. So that's something, you know, you can look at.
Inject the muscle.
Brother Sage.
Yes, Sophina.
So if you do it through the colon, would that be similar to an injection?
Well, you've got a different passage. You've got a different delivery system. I mean, if you're taking it up the intestines or down the throat,
Okay.
right? And from what I read the other day, the injection doesn't go the same route. It doesn't have to be digested. It doesn't have to go into the mucosa, and it doesn't have to be absorbed. It absorbs in ways that you can't the other way. And I'm sure.
Have you done it? Have you done the injection?
Not yet. I'm still needle shy.
I'm very, very needle shy. And I also just have this aversion, I don't know why, to it being injected through a needle. I don't know. It's probably something with needles in my childhood, but I'm not ready anytime soon on that.
Okay, guys, get your car. We're going to drive to Fiona's, and she's going to inject us.
I've done injections
No.
to myself. Well, just so you know, just like what I think and feel about it, you know, with just and I'm only like 77 days. It's my journey, you know. I feel like, you know, if I feel like before urine was a pretty healthy person, healthy lifestyle, vegan lifestyle, mostly raw, you know, do only eat organic. I've been like that for a while. So, oh God, I forgot what we were talking about. Oh, injections.
I don't know, but I just got a new title for you. Anybody who injects urine into other people, we're going to call them a wet nurse.
Oh, that's a good one.
Boom.
So my feeling is, if you've got something where you've got a bit more of a compromise in your life, you know, like my son's going to come back from Australia and he has some things that are real issues. The first thing I'm going to do is inject him, because he's not at the point to take it in, you know, and be that. So I want to get stuff in, so it will have a different route to a specific area, more focused, because of where I'll be directing it and how it'll be going into that area. So it will focus. So it's more of a focused area type of thing. So it can work on that issue a little bit more, and to ease then him to like, so I'll start drinking, this do, but to get his body familiarized as well, to support him to move through it. And especially I think of people with real deeper addictions and issues, it's a more, I don't know, that's just intuitively what I felt with doing myself, because I thought, what, I don't need to do this to myself. I don't like jabbing myself with a needle, and it stings because there's no procaine or anything in there to take away the sting of the urine. And I'm like, I don't need to do that to me. My body doesn't like, because there's a shock in your system, because I can see injection points in the blood when it happens to a person, and it's a stress, it's a trauma. The body doesn't like it. So I'd say that's me personally. It's a specific to the person in that sense. Well,
most people don't go to the injection route unless it's a life and death situation.
Yeah.
If it's a 911 kind of thing, they go, okay, it's this or I ain't going to make it. And boom, they bite the bullet, they take the jab, and they're good.
Or if they've got like a tumor or something on their body, wham it. I'd be injecting urine into that daily until it was gone. Stuff like that.
Building muscle, would that work? Just
probably would,
right? Testosterone.
Most people put it in the hip or the hiney area in the glutes, and I've heard of some people, they're injecting it around the kneecap area because their knees are shot and they don't want to spend a whole lot of money on stem cell injections. And then one doctor who's a good advocate, he was injecting it into his arm because he wanted to know what was that all about.
Right. I haven't been that brave. I haven't gone right into a vein or anything. Scar tissues, scars, just to keep it under the surface, subcutaneous, in the fat, cellulite, get a big blob of cellulite and inject it.
I have no idea what that is.
Oh my goodness.
I have not put on weight in 35 years. So I don't know what.
Wow.
All right, let's keep reading here. We still got some time. Oran fasts have no limits on what condition it can improve. Oran increases stem cells, human growth hormone, antibodies, probiotics, steroid hormones, and their metabolites, and thyroid hormones. Oran fasting improves intelligence, imagination, creativity, sense of humor, short-term and long-term memories, and sharpens thinking abilities. That includes critical thinking and big picture thinking. Top down is what Indira calls it. Oran fasting makes you feel like slowing down, taking time to meditate, feeling grateful, and closer to love. As a result of Oran fasting and people making healthier lifestyle choices, more are experimenting with living foods or a fruit-based diet. Now, that was so strange in the late 70s. In 77, I got into a raw food community. And this was pioneering the raw food movement. We thought, these are a bunch of extremists. These are the guys who do raw foods, right? And now 40 years later, it's like, it's a go-to for a whole lot of generations. Raw food, of course. Oran fasting is effective in treating intestinal parasites, virus, fungus, pathogens, yeast. While Oran reestablishes our balance from food allergies and any form of itis in the intestinal tract from exposure to pathogens with our diet and outside sources, the body will detox itself of heavy metals, drugs, and chemicals, which are stored in the body fat. Dormant centers in the brain are activated and bring a greater appreciation of music, singing, dance, romance, art, and the innumerable gifts of life. Combining regular Oran fasting with a living foods or fruit-based diet, exercise, meditation, rest can make all the difference in restoring health and wellness. Conscious, deep, connected breathing and slowing down allows one to achieve good energy management. During an Oran fast, detoxing may occur as the body is restoring its healthy bacteria in the gut. Cataracts are usually removed in 10 to 14 days. And according to J.W. Armstrong, he had people fasting for 101 days and curing blindness. That's pretty impressive. Those with post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, Alzheimer's, senility, ADHD, ADD, autism, spectrum disorder, bipolar disorder, have emotional traumas, report great results. This is accredited to the presence of nutrients such as DHEA, melatonin, serotonin, dopamine, B vitamins, oxytocin, magnesium, and other important nutrients for the glands, brain, and nervous system. I'm going to skip all those things that Oran fasting does so you guys can read that whenever you get a chance so we can move on to the next part here. How long should I do an Oran fast? We're on page 79 in case you need to know that. Start practicing intermittent fasting from 6 p.m. to 10 a.m. Or some people like to they'd like to align it with sundown and sunrise. So whatever 6 p.m. to 10 a.m. is in your area. Skip breakfast. Do a fast for 16 hours. Your digestive system will thank you for the good rest. With Oran, you can start with an ounce. Shot glass works well for measurements. Most serious Oran drinkers will drink the entire amount they collect. A basic Oran fast can last 1 to 3 days. Typically, most fasts last 7, 14, 21, or 30 days. Some people have been known to fast beyond 30 days to heal more serious health challenges. One man fasted on the Master Cleanser for 365 days and healed his paralysis and threw away his wheelchair, and now he takes brisk walks every day. That was Gary Young, Dr. Gary Young from Young Living Oils. Imagine if he did an Oran fast. Wow. Simply fast long enough to cure whatever the disease you think you have. Always listen, trust, and follow your intuition. The mere length of Oran fasting can raise human growth hormone to very high levels while fasting and correcting conditions. Soak a cotton ball or washcloth in fresh or evolving Oran. Gently dab or wipe on areas to be healed. Great for burns, sunburns, cuts, scratches, acne, bruises, capillary bursts, which are the sudden discoloration of skin that look reddish or purple in color. I get them from time to time. I might have shown you. There's a little one right there. Sometimes they're over here. And you put it on there, and in 4 days it heals up. Amazing, because it gets the nourishment it's been looking for. Make a compress with Oran, leaving area covered for hours or overnight. You can always use a washcloth, cotton ball, or just the hands for topical application. Rub Oran on the skin as it cleanses, rejuvenates, brings elasticity back to your cells, and tones your muscles. It will leave the body in the form of sweat, pimples, skin rashes, fever, or as energy. An Oran body massage, including facial, scalp, head, feet, hands, and hair rubs, are very complementary to fasting and enemas. As a treatment for skin disorders, diseased body parts, internal organs, wounds, and a rejuvenating whole body tonic, Oran makes a good substitute for soap. You guys still using soap?
Shampoo.
Just throwing that out there. This is my soap.
What I do is for soap, I get like a 3-day evolved, and I put it in a spray bottle. And then when I go into the shower, I just spray my entire body, my hair and everything, and I let it sit there, and I massage my hair with it for a while, and then just cover my entire body with it, just get it like super wet, and then just sit with it for a while and do something else. And then as it starts to dry, it gets absorbed into the body. And I'll do that maybe 3 times. And so it'll take about an average about 15 minutes per soak, and then it'll dry. You can do thin layers and it'll dry quicker, especially if you have the windows open. And the nice thing, it's in the shower, so you can get your feet and everything. So I do it 3 times, and then I just rinse off, and then I'm good.
3 times all in one setting?
All in one setting, yeah. So it's about 45 minutes to an hour, and just sit there and I just massage like everything, all my legs, especially my feet, because I like to run barefoot, and so I massage my feet a lot. And I've seen like just crazy differences in the physical appearance of everything, like in my legs, my feet. The veins are really like just huge. Like my kids like poking at it, like they're like, it's just weird, Dad, it looks like you got worms on your feet. So there's a lot of blood flow growing through there, and so I like seeing all the results, the external stuff, and in the skin. Oh man, skin is just amazing. Look at Fiona's face. Look how beautiful that skin is. Oh my God.
Oh, thanks.
Like you see it. It's
Mm.
we're going the opposite direction. It's so awesome.
And on that, we're thinking about that. I was having like a weird, like a strong, so I'd stopped using soaps, and I had this like musky smell, because I was doing fresh, and I got in the shower and I tried to wash it off with soap, and it was still there. And I was going to my daughter, I was like, can you smell it? And she was like, oh yeah. So it doesn't smell like BO. So it's got a really strong musk to it. So I got my aged urine. I thought, oh, this will overpower that smell. And I rubbed it all in under my armpits, and that musky smell went. And there was no smell left. And I tried with the soap, to get it off. So it was like, wow, yeah. I thought it was going to stink, and I didn't.
Aged on like a morning wash when you wake up and you wash your face with just like a cloth, and then you just use the age. It'll give you this like this sting, and it'll kind of wake you up, right? But it removes all the dead skin that's just coming off. So you just, I mean, you're just glowing all day, and people are like, what's going on?
I use these.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
They come like this. So they come in like a little packet, and you drop them in the urine, and then you put it on your face, and you can just reiki the heat and massage.
Oh my God, I love it.
And keep re-wetting it and reapplying. These are awesome.
I use them too, Fiona. I love those things, man. They're the best. And you can put them on other places of your body.
You guys are great.
Right.
I love that. Great idea.
What do you call that thing?
I don't know. I got them off my acupuncturist because she was doing face stuff on me. She got a bag of them. I can't. It's in Chinese, the writing. So
it's paper. It's paper face mask.
Right. Oh, okay. There you go. And you can reuse these ones.
Yeah.
That's what I like about these. So you're not like wasting them. So they're reused a few times.
Do you have to go to Chinatown to get them, or where do you get them?
I don't know.
Amazon has them.
Amazon. Okay.
I'll send you a link. I'll totally send you a link.
They're Chinese, aren't they?
Nice. I want to get some of those.
Thank you. I think we have a new in thing for our water community. This is great. All right, we're going to keep going here. We've got about 30 minutes, but 15 minutes from now, we're going to stop and just do Q&A for anybody. Go slowly, softly while massaging Oran toward the heart. Pay attention to massage the areas where the lymph glands are located. Send kind and loving thoughts and positive energy to the recipient. Allow at least an hour for the Oran to be absorbed. When Oran is absorbed into the skin, the odor of ammonia will be gone after a short period of time. Some people know this as outgassing. Oran massages are easy to love and appreciate. It's worth it for the wonderful feeling of being healthy and invigorated. And down below, there's a picture of an Oran hair and scalp massage for hair care, a substitute for shampoo, conditioner, dandruff, or hair loss and baldness. Using fresh or evolving Oran, massage Oran briskly into the scalp, allowing it to be absorbed 30 minutes to an hour or as long as possible. Then wash it out with lukewarm water, this is optional, and get ready for clean, lustrous, and darker colored hair. Remind your mind that you are giving and receiving a loving and nurturing massage using holy water and that you're worth it. So here's an easy recipe for making shampoo. Very simple recipe. Find a jar, pee in the jar, apply and massage it into your hair, thrive. Okay? Someone says, what do you do about shampoo? This is it. This is what I do. I don't buy much from the store anymore unless I need something for my car or something to clean stuff out. But this is simple. Now, some people are telling me that they're actually washing their clothes and their dishes in their Oran.
Yeah, I saw that. I think somebody recommended three-day-old for clothing.
I've started soaking my salads, my food in my fresh urine.
Sweet, sweet. And does it affect? I know it's going to clean out anything that's been sprayed on it, but does it affect the taste? Does it affect the crispness? Does it spring back better?
Fine. Salad.
Yeah. Oh, that's a new one. I'll have to try that. I got a salad coming today or tomorrow. Food poisoning. Several research studies have shown that urea is a proven antibacterial agent, or regulating agent for Fiona. And Oran has been found to contain regulating things to I'm still having trouble with that.
You're gonna have to redo the book.
I found to contain antibodies to food contaminants such as salmonella bacteria in infected individuals. Begin by taking 3 to 5 drops. Increased dosage is tolerated from a dropperful to an ounce or much more. Now this is Samuel Cohen. Anybody heard of him yet? Samuel Cohen. He's originally from England, but he's spent a lot of time in Goa and in India. And he ends up meeting this guy named Kelly Ra. And Kelly Ra is a spiritual teacher. They have the same guru, but Kelly Ra introduced him to drinking through the nose. And Kelly figured this out like in early 2000, that the nose is a direct route to decalcifying the pineal gland. And so after trial and error, they finally mastered, and they figure out how to turn the nose into a straw and have it cross up and through here, rehydrate all the different sinus cavities, and bring more clarity to the mind.
Amazing.
Now, he had a website for a while, drinkingthroughthenose.com. I don't know if it's up right now, but he took it down. So this is his story about how he learned about it, what he's doing with it, how to meditate on it, and so forth. You want me to read some of it? Mm-hmm. That would be a yes. Make sure you swallow, Ernie. Okay. Your best health ever may be a mere change of mind and a willingness to trust the success of many who are drinking Oran through the nose and can testify to the many benefits and healings they are having. This is how to teach others how to overcome their resistance or mind talk about this protocol. Meditate on nose drinking. Take a deep breath. Take baby steps. After dipping a finger in Oran, stick it up the nose and sniff or snort it deeply. Repeat process in order in other nostril. Now, an alternative to this, I think I might have taught you guys, is a cotton ball soaked in Oran. And you can put the cotton ball under one nostril or another and just give it a quick snort. And that's one way to start to get the feeling of it. It's not a full drink. So let's keep going here. Congratulate yourself. Then day after day, step up the quantity of Oran that you sniff until you mentally are ready to drink ounces through the nose. The practice of drinking through the nose protocol forms part of a unique way of life designed to awaken the brain, activate the third eye, and change the practitioner into a new being, a being who is way above what they have been known to be by the wider population. We read about Taoists in India using the same method with Oran therapy, yet it was Kelly Ra Saliba who had discovered this technique while in the bathroom in London in the year 2000. Now, 20 years later, what have we come to learn? Kelly Ra offers his teachings via drinkingthroughthenose.com. There's a picture of Kelly right there. He has a YouTube channel if you ever want to see some of his stuff. He found this unique way that he can bend backward. He can do an arch backwards and just fall and trust that he'll land on his hands without hitting his head on the ground. And he demonstrates in his YouTube channel. It's just amazing just to see that. The option.
That's a question, Brother Sage, and it's for you. Do you know what the difference is when you're drinking through the left or the right? Because I find like one side's a lot easier, one side will clear more. I just wondered what the difference is of how it
lines up.
Yeah, the difference, like if you're taking it in the right, is there a different trajectory? Is it associated with the brain? I was just wondering if anybody had any like info or experience with doing it through the different noses, the effects they have in their body.
Yeah, I would say it's the same with the guys from India who do alternative nadi, nose breathing through one nostril to the other to awaken different sections of the cortex and of the brain from one side to the other. And if you study the functions of the different brain areas, maybe that'll give you some kind of clue.
Okay.
You know, one's a dominant side, one's a passive side, one's a male or female, one controls this or the other thing.
Okay, thank you.
Good research project.
Yeah, another one.
Another one. It's amazing. All right. Once the Kundalini rises in a safe and secure manner, there's an opening of the third eye and piercing of the Sahasrara. Did I pronounce it right? Sahasrara. Only then can the adept truly drink through the nose. The nose drinking is both physiological and spiritual in equal measures. Mantras used during Oran drinking have facilitated our practice immensely, while we have now reached the ability to drink anything through our nose, provided it is from Mother Nature. All right, let's stop there. He has demonstrated drinking coconut water up the nose, urine up the nose, carrot juice up the nose, and wine up the nose. I think it's a personal preference. So that's Kelly. Now, one of the things that Samuel had taught is that if you'll take some of this in your mouth before you work on one nostril drinking one side or the other, and I tried that, and it's amazing how it forces it to go up there, and it's a lot easier to drink it through the nose and then swallow it on the opposite side as it goes down the throat. So what it'll do is just take a mouthful and then bring it up to your nose and drink it up the one nostril or the other. Does that make any sense?
So you're holding it in your mouth and you're drinking it through the nose, so that goes down the back of the throat, but you still hold it in your mouth.
You're holding it in the mouth so it doesn't go down the throat, but it's going to go behind the nose,
okay,
and then down the back end of the throat.
Okay.
And you may want to play with that sometime. Now, when you start drinking it from a glass, a jar, a bottle, it takes a little getting used to it first, because if you're not used to using these muscles up here and helping to bring it up into the sinus area, it's a little awkward at first. It's the same when you got used to the evolving Oran sting, the astringent feeling when you first drink it up your nose. It's the same thing, but you'll get used to it after a while. Dr. Hansen, she demonstrated it on a YouTube. Samuel Cohen demonstrated it. Boonmi demonstrated it. I might have demonstrated it in the earlier couple of years ago on YouTube, but it's an acquired thing. And then, Stampana from Botswana, she drank a whole glass through her nose.
Wow.
I don't mean the glass, but the glass of orange. Don't get me wrong. She sucked the whole glass down. So yeah, it takes practice. You can do it. Any questions?
I do it in the shower. I just grab a little bit on my hand and then just do that. And when I first started doing that, I started doing it to release all the mucus and everything from the respiratory system, everything, all the sinuses, so I could run better. So I started doing that, but I still do it only with fresh. I haven't moved anything past that.
Oh, what I do is I keep this in the medicine cabinet. So when I'm in the bathroom, if I want to collect it, I leave this in the medicine cabinet. So first thing in the morning, boom, I can use this for eye cup, neti pot, and it's so easy just to pour it in your hand and give it a hard snort. And then if you have any extra mucus, just clear out one side or the other, and it all pours out, and your breathing returns.
Yeah,
rather quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. I actually noticed that when the more I use Orin, the less I get my sinus blocked. You know, I mean, just by drinking it. So I can imagine the lip that I can do for, trying through the nose.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And remember that when you go to bed and you're blocked and you can't seem to breathe through the nose, get up, go to the bathroom and snort, clear it out, go back to bed.
Yeah,
I don't enhance the dreams too.
Yeah, I don't get bogies anymore in my nose.
Well, you have a clean diet, right?
Yeah, the fat. Well, I was before urine. You get a nice hard crusty. Sticks on the hairs, brings the hairs out. One of them. I don't get them anymore.
Mucus free.
Yeah.
Mucus free. All right, guys. Anything you want to discuss or go over right now?
What about epilepsy?
What's the question about it?
Can it help with it? I mean, it helps with everything, but do we have anybody, who had experience with it?
Good question. Do you have a copy of Martha Christie's book?
Mm-hmm.
I would suggest to go through the testimonials, either Martha Christie's book or go to Shirley's Wellness Cafe. She's got pages after pages of testimonials.
Right. But I was wondering about you, like in your, ear and who you've been with and who you've heard. Have you as well heard about that?
No, not yet,
Any-
but I'm open to hearing about it.
Okay.
I mean, if someone's going to have an epileptic attack, or to me, I would treat it just same as a shock. Or somebody has, I'd give them an injection. You want to get the nutrients in their system right away.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll keep an eye out for anybody who posts about that, Sofina.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys going to try anything different this weekend or this week?
I'm going to try the Evolve vaginally. Woohoo!
Yeah, me too. Definitely.
All right, it's party.
Yeah.
Be in the realms, ladies.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Right on. Emily will too.
Brother Sage is like, yeah, I'm out.
You know what? You get to feel a little bit more sexy.
I'm very curious about the nose. Yeah, trying through the nose.
What about it?
Yes, because I like I said, my sinus gets blocked for anything, even going out.
So you're gonna try that this week?
Yeah, I want to.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you are affected by things in the air when you're out and about, or
yes, yeah, even the car. I've come from a long history of allergies, so. But yeah, it's not that bad that I can't breathe, but it's just like one is blocked and I can only breathe from one. And then sometimes one gets unblocked and then the other one gets blocked. So, but it's getting better. Like I said, since I started worrying, it's getting better.
Nice.
Yeah, well, you might keep cotton balls around. Cotton balls. Now I got in the habit of keeping this with me all the time. This is my 3-year-old.
All right, there you go.
And so when you need a powerful kick, then you can either put this under the tongue, you can take the lid off and saturate a cotton ball and snort it up that way.
Yeah.
You can drop it in your ears, your eyes, whatever. This is an all-purpose bottle. I mean, you can do all kinds of cool stuff with it. And then the other
last week when you talked about it, that's why I went for this one to just have it with for the 8th one anyway. But I'll try and get a smaller one with a dropper, like you said. So.
Yeah, these are easy because you can find these at garage sales and thrift shops. A lot of times what I did was these are from old tinctures and essential oil bottles I had. You just recycle them.
Yeah.
Clean them out real good.
With Oran.
With Oran, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to go up the nose this week. I'm going to focus on that too.
There you go.
Because I have this one gets really blocked, And sometimes you can feel the inflammation, in your sinuses.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna do some stuff on that. And also I've had my tonsils removed, so I've always felt like my sinuses, even as a kid, a lot of pain, a lot of sinus issues. So see what
There you
comes out. Looking forward to it.
Good. Yeah, and if you get into a pinch, start I found the other day, I want to share this with you, when I had some kind of an ache in my head and my body was feeling like a flu. And I didn't want to tell anybody, because these days you tell anybody anything, they go, oh, you might have to go to the hospital to get tested for you know what. Yeah. So what I did was I went all military, and I just, I chugged 6 ounces of Age. I was putting Age up my nose. I was massaging it in my scalp. I'm going, no. I'm not willing to be taken down for any kind of illness or challenge to my body. So within about 30 minutes, everything returned back to normal, and I was up and running again. So sometimes you got to get real serious and get
Yeah.
it all around you.
One last question, if that's okay. Um,
Of course.
yes, Brother Sage, when we were talking about fasting, one thing I wanted to ask. So when we fast with Orin, can we do Orin and water, and that would still be considered fasting, or has it got to be only Orin, no water at all?
Okay, first, I'm going to pull a Brother Sage on you. It's an intuitive medicine.
Okay.
Okay, and fasting is subjective. It's a subjective term because some people feel fasting is just water. Some people fasting is dry fasting. Some people fast on everything from Oran to fresh juice to you name it. So, but the most powerful fast is straight up Oran.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So like on me, when I'm looping most of the time, after a while it starts getting thicker, so you feel like you're thirsty. I will get a sip of water and just refresh everything, because it does feel after a little while it gets pretty thick.
That's right.
So
Yeah.
yeah, and so your mouth feels like it's dry. And So a little bit of fresh, like small cup or a swig or two of water, it helps just refresh everything.
Okay, thanks. I
So yeah.
understand. One of the reasons I ask is because when we drink water, it feels a bit different from when you're just drinking Orin.
What kind of
So,
water?
say again.
What kind of water do you drink?
I Well, two. So I filter mine, and sometimes I collect from a spring. There's a spring in Aylesbury, which is about maybe 15 miles from where I live. So, but yeah, I think that the what I feel is that the effect is different. With Orin, it's just comforting. It's like I don't need anything. I'm happy. I don't need anything in this life. I'm happy. I don't need food. I don't need water. I don't need anything. But
Right.
I'm thinking with the fasting whether I would, start feeling that, like Ernie was saying, I need to top up with water, if that makes sense, just to keep, the flow and the liquids going.
Well, I noticed that when I do urine fasts, I'm less tired than when I did other fasts. I mean, I've done 30 and 45-day fasts before,
Right.
uh, and found out I had to rest more often. I did it with the Master Cleanser. I did it with apple juice and apple cider vinegar. I tried all kinds of different things. But the Oran fast, I was still able to accomplish all the projects that I would do for the day. I lost track of the day. The end of the day, I had no cravings. The
Forgot.
cravings for food were gone. The cravings for anything that wasn't healthy was gone. And at
Yes.
the end of the day, I was so peaceful. It was great.
You took off.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. Oh, there you go. Yeah, I'd
So,
like to give that a try.
so yeah, experimenting with urine fasting is experimenting with your faith.
Oh, that's
Hmm.
profound. Yeah.
And the longer you work with Oran, the greater is your faith and the more your results, because you'll find out that the reason you didn't move forward on things because you were afraid or anxious or intimidated. And when your faith is an all-time high, I know when I talk it's always going to bleed into every area of your life, but when your faith is at an all-time high, fear doesn't coexist.
Amazing.
They don't teach that in school.
Oh.
No, they don't teach a lot of things in school. All right, anybody else got something going on here? Lynn, thanks for hanging out with us. I know you had mommy duty.
Very welcome. I'm kind of like hesitating. I'm like, do I go? I can hear my kids. No,
Well,
it's great to be here for sure. And I find that's what's like, I don't know. I feel like I've been hesitating, like doing more with urine, either with the smell. My boyfriend's like, he's kind of like, what are you doing? Right. But I mean, I do look younger than him, and he's 5 years younger. Anyways, where I wake up with no inflammation. and he's like super old and cruggy. Anyways, so, and I'm doing a lot already, so I think I just need to like be thankful for what I'm doing already.
Well, when you get really deep into the rabbit hole of urine therapy and you get really into the lifestyle, you won't be able to hide it very well.
Exactly. So it's like I'm trying to hide it. I just know that he's like disgusted by it. Right. And like we share space together. So it's like I want to like respect his space as well, but respect myself too. You know, I got my little things going on. So
it can work if there's a mutual understanding, if there's a common ground. Right?
Yeah, and I think that that's what's like a big part of me taking this course is to learn how to verbally express what I'm going through, and to also like have like some scientific like proof in like bringing stuff up, and like have some links, documents about this if it's been studied. I know in Alberta they did a really huge study about it, and I know there's another study coming out from another naturopathic doctor. You know, she says like a 3-year study, pretty in depth. So it's like things like that are really kind of want to get my hands on, to have on hand. I mean, as much as like, you know, most people that don't see me for a while and they see me now, you're getting younger. They're like, why is your skin so soft? What's going on? You know, what are you doing?
Good for you.
So
do you
yeah
feel, Lynn, do you feel that arming yourself with that kind of evidence and science and research is going to be a language that these people will understand?
Yeah, definitely.
So they talk that talk.
Well, not necessarily they talk that talk. It's like we have such a society, I find out, that's just like, you know, more like frontal low brain programming, right? So it's like a, you know, it's like, how can I just like turn the door, open it up a little bit, right? And then talk about, you know, how do I feel intuitively? How does it work? How do you play with it, right? Because I have a couple girlfriends who are doing it really intense, which is great. I have a girlfriend, her hands burn from eczema, man. She's like finally not putting cream on. You know, there's great things like that happening too. But it's like having that baggage, that language to be able to navigate and understand its chemistry. I was even thinking about taking a little small chemistry course to understand the structure of it. Right? I mean, what's structured water? You know, can somebody, you know, well, urine is structured water, but what is structured water?
Yeah.
What does it do to the body? You know, and it's like questions like that pop up for myself, right? That I'm going to get answers for, and be able to have that language to navigate in a way that's like, yeah, like I know what I'm talking about. I got this.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that helps, and that comes across really well.
Exactly.
Hey,
It builds the confidence.
Yeah.
On YouTube, there's his name is Pollock, and he has a really good video on structured water.
Yeah.
I'll try to dig it up. But what's his first name? Fiona? Gerald?
Isn't it Michael Pollock?
Something Pollock. I can't
Something
remember,
like
but
that,
yeah,
he's of water.
That's it. And it's really interesting. It's fascinating, Lynn. I think you're gonna.
Oh, what was his name again?
I think it might be Gerald. I don't know. It's the 4th phase of water.
I think it's Gerald Pollock.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Right.
Pollock is definitely his last name. And if you put in 4th phase of water, he's totally going to come up.
Okay.
I think it's Gerald Pollock, 4th phase of water.
And like that explanation of like structured water, I mean, it's just an example, right? But it's like, that's why I'm here. I really want to be able to navigate. Like, I feel like I'm just like, you know, part of the slingshot, and eventually when my kids will be older and I'll be able to be more out there if we want. Like, I want to be prepared. Right. So I feel like this is going to follow me for the rest of my life. You guys too, right?
Oh, absolutely.
So like being ready for this movement.
That makes a lot of sense, because we throw around words all the time in our conversation: structured water, activated living water, distilled water, but nobody explains it. They go, "Oh, okay, but what do you mean?"
Exactly. So there's yeah. Even like I said, I really thought about taking like just a small little chemistry course just to kind of like get those words like structured in my mind if we want, and also a definition for myself. And I like learning new stuff. Why not, right?
That's why we're here.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, and learning about the terrain principle of our body. That's a lot. We've been mass programmed by germ theory and Pasteur and his whole revolution that he created.
Mhm.
And it's like we need to go step back 100 years to look at Béchamps and all the others, Lamar, all those types that we're talking about terrain theory, not
Yeah.
terrain principle, because it's an actual law, it's an actual fact.
Mhm.
Whereas germ theory is just a theory, never been proven. So I would delve in there, because once you get that understanding of the terrain that we adapt, it's quite a straightforward kind of conversation that you can start having with people, and it's a re-education of how we function, like physically too. I think that's like really important. And same with our language, the whole thing, that I just don't like the antibody. I don't like anything. Like doctors said I had an anti-immune disease, and I was like, no, I haven't got nothing. My body doesn't want to kill me. Consciousness is that's not how it works, Instructions. Yeah, I found I got a lot of help just delving into that thing, but also like conversations with my daughter. She likes me to ask first, not be like, because I'm like, and her friends come in and they say, oh, I've got this rash, and I'm like, get a bit of piss on it. She's like, can we just be open to like being asked first?
Yes.
Give him a cushion.
Oh, sorry guys.
Yeah,
give him a cushion. Oh, by the way, if you will go to Wikipedia, if you type in Louis Pasteur, in the article itself, it says that on his deathbed, he admitted that the guy with the terrain theory was right, and he had it wrong. But the guys who've been pushing vaccines ever since, they went with Pasteur's theory.
More money in it.
More money, more control. Yep.
And they stole all his information anyway and just bastardized it. Not Pasteur, Béchamps.
Yeah, they wanted us to follow their ideas, so
it's a business.
Thanks, Athena.
Thank you. So if you want to study chemistry,
you're welcome.
If you want to study chemistry, you may want to ask Fiona how to do that, or Darlene Tehan, a naturopath in Canada. Any last questions? By the way, our friend Dr. Gupta is still in the hospital. I need to get a call out to his wife. Dr. Mike Whittord said you got to get him out of the hospital any way you can, because he was diagnosed with a pulmonary, whatever the heck you call it. What do you call it? Starts with an E. I always get it wrong.
Embolism? No.
Embolism, yes.
Embolism.
Yeah, and that happens to be the third leading cause of, it's on the list of COVID and vaccine-related diseases. So he said, look, if you want your husband to survive the hospital, you better break him free. Find the paperwork, or come in and just, break through and get him out of the hospital.
Yeah. Lots of advice at the moment is like for people not to go into hospital at all, because that's another sentence. Implementing.
And on another note, everyone, there's a huge convoy worldwide. Like, that is gotta be in our prayers and our water, and it's huge. Anyways, I got shivers. I'm an hour away from Ottawa.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I'm manifesting at home, right? Just transforming my kids, right?
So you caught sight of the 50,000 truckers?
Yeah.
I didn't catch sight. No, girlfriends are there at the moment, and so I'm getting lots of videos, photos.
Yeah.
Well, it's happening worldwide. There's truckers in other countries that are following suit.
Yeah, I got shivers all over.
Yeah,
the United States is talking about doing a convoy from California to DC.
Wow.
So get out your semi-truck. Let's go.
Get on board.
Yeah, and this is the best time to be practicing this. medicine, right? Because we're not going to be stressed out and worried about food and
Absolutely, yeah.
going crazy that we need, all these other things when we don't. So that's like the timing is just great. And then, with this whole truck movement and everything on halt, we always have to think ahead. When you have a plan of what you want to do, you write out the plan. And so they've written out this plan. So we might see the electric trucks getting launched out sooner than they were supposed to launch them next year. So they might start using this as an opportunity to launch them and say, look, we don't need you. So just be prepared for all that. But we got this because
It makes sense.
Yeah.
We got the elixir right there.
Cheers.
I was just thinking that whilst their plans have to be on hold whilst all of this is going, is also an opportunity for us to manifest, because that chain of the COVID story is kind of
falling apart,
broken here and there, and
Yeah.
that's
It's unraveling.
to manifest from our heart, from our spirit, and through the water as well. So amazing time
It's
we're living.
also it's a new moon, I
Oh,
believe.
Oh.
So it's good for manifesting.
Are we going into a wax or a wane?
I'm not sure what it is.
Well, we're gonna go outside. I know I'm gonna go outside. I've been in the house all day. So guys, write down any notes from class, anything you want to bring to the Wednesday class, and we'll just keep on studying and keep on learning and see where this goes.
lovely.
Awesome.
Thank
All
you,
right, much love
everyone.
to you.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day, week, life, moment. Mwah.
Yes.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.